All right, y'all. It's 99 Jams. It's Miami's #1 for hip hop and R&B. It's the Pac Jam Morning Show. DJ Nancy 305. CeCe doing the most.
What up, Tom?
Hanging out, holding it down for Super Cindy. And we got a special guest.
Yes, we do.
In the building. Boy, you. I don't know if I want to say guest. I mean, you are family, but boy, you are one of them guys right now. Mr. Kelvin Hunter hanging out with us.
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. Sunrise to everybody. Positive vibrations.
That's what I'm talking about. You hanging out in Miami?
Yeah, I live out here now.
So this is home.
This is home.
There's no way this is home and you not pass through here and not see the Dade County ambassador, sir. That does not happen.
Well, 2 years ago, I tried to get the Dade County ambassador to get part of this Waffle and Yankee Fitted Fest that I threw out. And he was busy doing the classics, so
I definitely was.
Okay, I came.
So that's you behind the scenes doing that?
Yes, that was my event. Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yes, it was. Nas, Goody Mob, Fabulous, and
that was over at the Miramar Amphitheater.
Yes, it was.
So you plan on bringing that back again this year?
Yes, I will. I will bring it back next year. This year's been a trying year, but I definitely plan on bringing it for next year in a bigger and better way.
Okay.
And involve you this time. We need you in the building.
Yeah, we definitely going to be there.
Okay.
We definitely going to make that happen.
I got to watch my best friend Boogie.
Everybody loves the boogie.
Yes,
everybody loves the boogie. So, but other than that, man, how are you? Like, how's
I'm good.
I'm
good. I can't complain. I'm healthy. Health is wealth all the time. I'm fighting all the low vibrational people that's trying to, throw slander on the situation. But me and my family, my entire family, we rising to the occasion. We rising through all of the nonsense, if you will. And I hope to clear up a few things today with y'all, in my new hometown. I originally come from New York City, Brooklyn, bred and born.
I hear that.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm now part of the Broward County, posse. And I came down here before COVID, so I didn't come with the whole rush. I'm looking at everybody that came.
So you brung it down here, huh?
No. But I'm mad at everybody that brought all them high taxes and all the rent raises. That's not me. I was here before all that. I'm not part of them New Yorkers and them displaced people. I came before, so I'm part of y'all.
That's what's up.
That's what's up, man. Well, it's good that you're here.
Thank you.
It's good. I guess you could say that you're getting a new start.
Yes, sir.
I guess you could say that.
Yes, sir. I love this weather. I love the environment. I'm able to focus on my health more, you know what I mean? And be near to my son. My son's in school at FAU in his last year. That was one of the main reasons I came down here. And I'm loving it. I'm loving the whole reinvention.
That's what's up.
Okay, well, speaking of your son, how's he doing and how's school going for him?
He's doing great. I mean, he's a fine young man. Obviously, through all of it that's happening with his mom, and all of the media scrutiny, he has to keep a strong head. He kind of grew up in this whole thing. So, me and him, we stay in close contact. We go to the gun range. We do a lot of things. And his head is real straight. I try to keep it on the straight and narrow, you know what I'm saying, so he don't get too caught up. I want to touch on the fact that there's been a lot of misconceptions and negatively printed and wrong stuff about what he's going through in terms of all that nonsense, I don't know what you want to find out or know. I'm here to answer it, but just on a whole, it's just been all wrong.
Well, I know I saw something that was sad the other day by People magazine. They said that he was evicted from one of his apartments down here in Miami due to unpaid rent. So I just wanted to see if he was all right. Are you down here to help him with housing?
First of all, let me be clear about something. He's doing great. Mm-hmm. He's probably still living better. He's blessed. He's probably still living better than most. At the end of the day, that whole situation, his mom purchased the apartment. Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, let's rewind. He had some security issues at the place he was living at in Miramar. Mom's purchased an apartment where she planned on spending more time down here. Obviously, from everybody seen in the public, they see what's been happening and the whole digression of that. But in the midst of all that, she still purchased the apartment for him and her. and planned on spending more time down here. She wasn't doing as much. Things kind of spiraled a little bit. I didn't really know about it until after it was done. You know, I lean on the side. You know, obviously we've had a very public divorce. I lean more on the side of a real practical person. I come from Brownsville, Brooklyn. You know, I grew up in the projects, so it's like you don't need as much. I don't care how much we've been blessed with. Yes, we worked hard. We both have worked hard to provide for you, and you're a blessed child. But, you know, in the midst of everything that was happening, she obviously went way above and beyond because of her and her security issues that she has to purchase this apartment, and he was part of it. And he didn't really need all of that. And when everything happened, you know, the banks froze everything up. Yeah. He was not in a position to pay $10,000 a month for an apartment.
He's a college student.
Exactly.
Dang.
Led to purchase.
Well, he was led to purchase that, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna be very transparent with y'all because I feel like we family. That was more of his mom's whole doing, and I'm
financial people.
Well, I have my financial forensic accountant auditor here, Eric Pettis, who's gonna be on the back of me and make sure I say the right things. Right. If you want to lend to the
well, basically, just to elaborate a little bit on what Kelvin's saying is that her financial people led her to attempt to purchase this property. We haven't uncovered yet who exactly the property belonged to, but it wasn't initially a lease situation. It was a purchase situation. So unlike many families that have means, when your kid goes to college, it's not uncommon for people with means to go and buy something in the area that the kid's going to go to school.
Right. Okay.
Particularly in South Florida where, you know, folks want to have vacation homes. So it's not unusual for a mom in that position to be able to buy a property. So how she got to know about that particular unit, we don't know yet, but we're looking into uncovering that. Well, at the end of the day, it didn't become a purchase. It turned into a rent situation.
Right.
But if you look at the court records to show it's an exorbitant amount of rent to pay up front, deposit up front, you know, paying to the association up front. No, who rents an apartment and pays the association? So it was all converted and made to look like it was this rent that the bank froze the funds, so the purchase couldn't be completed. So it ended up.
So what you're saying is it wasn't a renting situation; it was more of a purchasing situation.
It was supposed to be a purchase situation, and then it, you know, because of her absolute state and the people that were advising her, that we're kind of battling now. It seems as though someone was trying to take advantage. But getting back to my son.
The other thing you got to mention also, I'm sorry to cut you off, but the other thing you got to mention is this young man left that apartment months and months ago. This story just came out as a way to discredit Kelvin as well as his son in their journey to get some understanding of what's happening with this money.
Right.
I just wanted to just ask a question. So are you saying that Wendy was, like, did she understand how you explained it? Did she understand that's what this situation was? And if not, then is that why you're saying people are taking advantage of the situation?
I feel like at the time that the purchase was happening, there were a lot of issues that she was dealing with.
Right.
She's in a much better space now.
Good.
And the advisors and the people that were around her, you know, after I departed, have been doing a plethora of things to get to the bag, so to speak.
Okay. And
getting back to my son, he's in a great space. You know, he kind of needed a reality check. Okay. You know, it was very fortunate of him to be in that plush building with all the rappers and all the celebs or whatever. But I, for one, would rather him be on campus or living with roommates and trying to pull himself up like any other normal college student.
Right, just living normal college life.
Yes, and he's back down to that reality in a sense. He's still blessed. He's had that reality check. He's working, and you know, I'm just, you know, I'm not happy that his name is being smeared and slandered all in in the media, but for the most part, he it was a wake up call for him, and he's doing fine now.
So how was regardless of whatever is going on in the media, and I'm talking from a dad perspective because I'm a dad myself.
Right.
How was the relationship between you and him? Forget all the media, forget all the scrutiny. Just this is Kelvin and my son,
You know
Junior.
what?
Like how was that situation?
Today, that's my pride and joy. Look, that's my firstborn. He's a spin image of me. We are great. We've had a road.
I mean, of course, I know we've had
a road,
and I didn't want to go down that road because again, as a father, like I couldn't imagine going through that road that you went through.
Right.
I couldn't imagine that.
It was painful. It was very painful. It was trying. I have all the faith in God. I've always, and it's funny now he's going to church and he's understanding spiritually where he needs to be as well. And I'm so happy about that. But in the beginning it was rough. It was very public. It was like any other divorce, sans all of the drama, with my ex-wife feeling the way she felt and trying to, he's our only son. So obviously, you try to make him pick sides. I never did that. And I remained quiet for a good while just to let things settle. But I'm just glad he wasn't younger during this whole ordeal because it probably would have been a lot harder. But today we were great. We're great. And he's actually, through all of the pitfalls, he's shaping up to be exactly what I'm want him to be, proud and understanding that this is, no matter what you're involved in as the son of and what you've been epitomized as, you have to earn your own way. You have to find your own way. You have to become your own man, and he's becoming that. He's becoming that wholeheartedly. I'm proud of him.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That makes me feel, as a dad, again, coming from a dad perspective, that makes me feel a whole lot better about your situation.
Yeah, we eat dinner every Sunday. He spends the night at my house. We talk, we chop it up. I give him game about all that's happening. I actually want him to come here today with me, but he's feeling a little, and I need him to feel in a great space, So I said, look, I'm gonna hold you down, but I need you to understand, when the heat comes, you have to rise to the occasion, and we're gonna turn this hate into great. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm here for. I usually stay behind the scenes, but when it comes to what's happening to my entire family and the attack that's happening, it's not just with me. I can't stand and just watch it happen.
Right.
And knowing I was such a great part of this legacy and this history and this pop, we got to still hold the flag up.
Say less.
Yeah, well, we definitely don't hate you. So
Thank
I just
you.
want to put that out there.
But
I don't hate you, but I do know I have a job and I
ahead.
have to ask the questions that the people will love answers to. But
I'm here.
we could do it all in respect and be
Go ahead.
great. So I do notice you're calling yourself the king of the purple chair.
King behind
the purple chair.
Okay.
Excuse me. And a lot of fans have been saying the king behind the purple chair. So just tell our listeners
Of
and
power.
everybody. Huh?
the king behind the purple chair of power. That was the exact title.
Okay. Well, explain. That's referring to the Wendy Williams and the show and the empire that y'all both made.
Listen, what's crazy? When they first came to me with the title, and Kelvin Collins, who was a very prolific, great writer, he did a great job. He came to me with the initial title. I think it was something to the effect of the man behind Wendy, something. And I was like, no. I'm like, first of all, let's talk about the chair for just a second. I don't know anybody else in daytime television or even in nighttime, maybe Johnny Carson's couch, that epitomized a piece of furniture that became so iconic to people. And yes, it was gifted. Prince realized, like most people, that Wendy was the only person in daytime and nighttime or nighttime that had the longest monologue for somebody in television. So that means David Letterman, Jimmy Fallon, you name it.
Are you speaking of like the Hot Topics?
I'm talking about the monologue, the Hot Topics segment, which you call Hot Topics, the monologue where someone is sitting there with her, it was 24 minutes, between 18 and 24 minutes. She sat there in that chair, captivated the audience.
Yes, she did.
With her personality, with her swag. And no one, not a man, no woman, not a group of women, can say that they hold that same title.
Facts.
That is a powerful situation. So now, when I'm talking about the purple chair of power, it was really to lend insight to how powerful that chair was and who sat in it. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to me being behind it and being the king, to the queen, who I consider still a queen of daytime media, you know, we can give it to Oprah, we can give it to a few other people, no slight to who's there now, but what she did, she defined a whole situation and carved out a whole situation for daytime television. If it wasn't for her, there would be no Real. The Real, you know, no disrespect to those women, but they only existed off of Wendy controlling that time block for Fox Television, which was powerful within itself. She did not come from or was cultivated from any beginnings. Like you see most of the daytime people, like Kelly Ripa, she was all part of the daytime soaps, and they did sitcoms with her, and Ellen was the same way, and we can go on and on. Wendy came from radio, this room, right, where it's theater of the mind, and how she obtained that position by captivating a week's worth of television on the local morning show to wow the numbers was what started the 6-week sneak peek test, which since that test, there's been about 200 to 300 people to try that same test. The Kardashians, Kris Kardashian, you name it. Wendy was the only person to succeed in that test. The Real did with the Telepictures television behind them, but they wanted to position her, that show, behind Wendy because Wendy was so strong. So now, thus coming back to the title, the Purple Chair Power is just that. Me being the king behind the queen to help, I want to say the right words, to help mold what her talent was and become a show and become become a common denominator of every department when it comes to that show, and immersing myself, my family, and what we gave to that show. I'm not proud to say it was kind of like the demise of my personal life and what the car crash that came with it, because we dedicated so much to it. So yeah, I'm going to stand behind the fact that I was the king behind the queen of the powerful chair that still and will always be iconic.
But I mean, I would think you would say that too because that was your wife, correct?
Yeah, well, people want to know why I said it in the business sense. I mean, when it comes to personal and what I stood for as terms of being the king to her queen, of course, you know, it never was supposed to be me there permanently the way I was. You know, I represented her and managed her and wanted to get things started with the show to get her in position because that was my wife, that was my people. You know, from a hood perspective, that was my girl. And like if we walk in the hood and you your girl is out and look, you my girl, ain't nobody messing with you. Look, let's hold it down.
Right.
So that's what it's supposed to be. But it turned into be, I don't want you to go. I need you to be here. Look, you know, we got to watch out for all these vultures, these snakes, these salamanders, these sidewinders. Like, you know, hey, I need you here. So I stayed. And, you know, unbeknownst to the people that, the production company that was there trying to always divide and conquer, you know, we were forced to be reckoned with. And, you know, it was what it was.
Well, you did eventually end up leaving the show, correct? Or stepping back.
I was fired because I got a divorce.
Okay. And you said that exit was like the decline for the show. The show started slowly, not just like it just went down the tubes, but it was just a slow decline of things not working. People weren't doing what they were supposed to do. However you want to speak on that. But I guess I just would like a little bit more clarity for those who are not in this business. You know, radio people, TV people, we could probably understand what that means. But for the fans who tune into Wendy and she's still doing Hot Topics, she's still talking about the things everybody wants to talk about. What did that mean when you say once you was let go, the show declined?
Well, first and foremost, like I said, personally, you know, what we were going through behind the scenes was a lot. I mean, I take accountability for my actions, you know, for what's obviously out there. But what we was going through when it comes to our health issues and whatnot, it was a lot. And it was solely on me from a personal standpoint of that being my wife at the time. Now, the show was very aware of all things. And now it's obvious that they had no real compassion for the person that was really, pioneering, that not just that show, but the whole company. Today, Debmar Mercury, there were no successes within their tenure of doing all of the shows and the businesses, and they had the Nick Cannon show, unfortunately, that fell by the wayside, which was also something that I want to say, if it wasn't for what was happening with Wendy and me telling them to go grab Nick to fill in for Wendy, they wouldn't have even been trying to do business with Nick. But
so you helped Nick get
well,
on
no,
TV.
yeah. I want to say
wow,
I helped
okay.
I helped the relationship with that. I feel like when everything was coming to a head with us personally, that they could have took a different approach at trying to salvage the situation. I know it was a very unique situation. The only people that I know was similar to what me and Wendy was doing was Dr. Phil and his wife. And they've had a long run. That's the only people I can compare it to.
That's a good comparison, yeah, because she's always at the show. She's always supporting. I think she even has like little segments where she will speak in front of the camera from time to time.
Well, I don't know what her executive role was. I want to say she's an executive producer, but I took the role of executive producer very seriously. I didn't go home when Wendy went home. Like, I made sure this is my people's, this is my family, this is my life. Like, y'all gotta get this right. Y'all gotta have my people's looking right. So, I think because of the pressure that I always kind of put on the situation to make them represent and project our people in the right light, they always looked at me as like a enemy. And when the opportunity came through my own actions, instead of them pulling us into two separate rooms and saying, all right, look, we know what y'all going through. We know that, obviously they're concerned about Wendy and how she's feeling. And I can understand, as a woman, she probably was like, F that dude. I get it. But what was working was for a reason. So I think it was their job to put us in separate rooms and say, listen, we need to make this work. We need, Kevin is still a respected producer, like the other executive producer we had there, the showrunner. And I wasn't just there in name only. I immersed myself, and like I said, in every department. I solved many situations. There were many situations where they didn't know how to deal with our people and our culture. And we had an HBCU situation that imploded when Wendy said the wrong thing. I had to single-handedly get Roland Martin on the show to kind of quell that. There was the whole Aaliyah situation. I can go through a number of situations.
I mean, Wendy.
Sometimes
them hot topics became really hot.
Right. And obviously, unlike other shows where there are different departments, like Ellen with Telepictures have many departments, Jimmy Fallon, there's departments to help and handle situations as they arise. Right. Debmar Mercury is a small company, that didn't have a vast amount of departments. And their publicity department, I want to say, was weak. And their method of dealing with issues was, just let them work themselves out. And, with our community, you can't do that because they will kill you. Okay. Right. So in this situation, instead of them pulling us in the separate rooms, and trying to work out a healthy resolution so that the show still maintained, they looked at it as like, here's an opportunity for us to get Kev out, and we could take get the leverage on Wendy that we would like. At the time, Wendy was vulnerable. People don't realize, or they might remember, that she was just coming out of a rehab and the whole situation then. And I was, pioneering all of her recovery efforts at the time. And, they did not take the role to say, all right, even if we need to get Kevin out of the way, let's make sure Wendy is supported in every way, shape, or form possible so that she can soar. They didn't do that. They just looked at it as, let's just get this dude out the way. And they did.
Yeah.
And obviously, the sharp decline that happened, because they took for granted a woman who, yes, she was mad. Yes, she had every right to be mad. But like most real, I'm not going to take nothing away from her decisions or what she wanted to do because I allowed her to be mad. I never said anything bad about all of it, including what she went on the air and said when she was extremely mad. But like most men, I want to say that's with a strong woman and they're a strong alpha male, you get mad and then you get to a point of some type of understanding. Me and her didn't get a chance to do that because so many people got in the middle of that. I feel like they didn't realize that even though maybe we would have been destined for divorce or what have you, that we still had the room to still work with each other throughout it. And they did not want that. They didn't give us the opportunity to do that. They constantly stayed influencing in her ear, while again she's very vulnerable, and it was sad. You know, I'll be honest with you, and a lot of people don't know this. We actually had a conversation in the midst of the divorce proceedings, just me and her privately. And I asked her, I said, look, do you still want me to work with you? And, you know, she was mad like a woman would be personally, but she was like, yes. And I was like, okay, well, we don't have to go through all this money stuff. It's never been about money with me. She knows that. You know, I mean, I'm glad and blessed that, you know, we acquired what we acquired, but, you know, I'm a hustler. I'm an entrepreneur. Whatever I don't have, whatever is taken away from me that God don't want me to have, I'm going to get back. Like, I don't have no problem. That's why I walked away from the divorce as fast as I did. I had the fastest celebrity divorce in history in a year. And, you know, I put it in God's hands. But at the time, you know, she was like, yeah, I do want you to work with me. And I was like, all right, well, you know, we was somewhere remote. And we said, okay, we're going to go back to the mainland and we're going to hash this out. This was during the time my son was all in the media with TMZ, with the instance with me and him. And we were supposed to come back and unify as a family and put out the same statement everybody else put out to give us the privacy to deal with our situation. And she probably would have had to say something on the air for her aggressive fans, right, which she could have, and been like, listen, y'all, I know y'all want to know what's up. Me and Kev is dealing with it. We'll let y'all know when we got it done. But they didn't want that. They seen the forest through the trees, and they was like, no, we need him out. We need you to stay strong, and we need you, you know. And she was not as strong as she needed to be because she was still going through something, right, you know, and they took advantage of that. And when we got back to the mainland, everything changed back to, you know, Kevin's the narrative. Kevin's the reason why the substance abuse escalated and all of this other stuff. And
well, I do
sad.
have a question. And it's unfortunate that y'all wasn't able to continue your professional relationship, even though y'all both agreed y'all would still want to work with each other. But now that the show is gone, everybody's trying to do their best to move on, be better out of that situation. Do you have any contact with Wendy, and are you still supporting her from afar, or do you talk to her? Do you see her? How does y'all relationship look like today?
I'm gonna tell you what. I will go as far as to tell you that even in the midst of the divorce, even after the divorce, there were 2 times that I had to actually save Wendy's life. Like, when you with somebody half your life, yeah, you don't just. Now I am on to a new relationship, and I have started a new family. Yes, and I know that makes a lot of people mad because they've seen the evolution. But when it comes to her and what we shared, my son's mother, you know, I don't have no hate. I know now that people are going to be shocked to see how she brings in the new year. I'm hearing, you know, that she is, you know, getting into a great space. I know that she's remorseful for a lot of things because, you know, the irony of it all is with all of the people and the noise and the influences of everybody, there's still only 5 people that really care. And those same 5 people are the only people that really care. Now, am I one of those people? Yeah. Do I have to care from afar and not up close, you know, because she has to find herself like I had to find myself. Like we obviously were tethered together and we were running, but at some point, and I want to say at the inception of the show, well, what we put into the show, we left out of the foundation of our family. We took away from our family. And
take your time.
Yeah, take your time, G.
I want to let people know that we still only human.
Humans make mistakes.
Yes.
They make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.